In the greatest era of tennis, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic divided the world between them. The slams, the records, the glory. For a moment, they seemed bigger than the game itself. But in the shadow of their brilliance, one man refused to fade, until the world had no choice but to remember his name. This is the story about the grind and guts of Stan Wawrinka, the outsider who kept running into greatness. But when the lights burned brightest, he flipped the script. He broke their aura and beat them when it mattered most. Throughout his career, Wawrinka was the forgotten man of the golden era. He reached his peak when the cards were already dealt, when the big three had turned tennis into their personal battleground. Every tournament felt like the same prophecy repeating itself. Federer's elegance, Nadal's will, Djokovic's resilience. And somewhere beyond their orbit, Wawrinka, fighting for space no one thought he could claim. He wasn't the chosen one. No junior hype, no early breakthroughs. At 28, most players begin to fall off. Stan was just starting to rise. His record against Roger, Rafa, and Novak was brutal. A long list of straight-set defeats, tie-break heartbreaks, and crushed dreams. But in that chaos, something was forming. A heavier game, a colder mindset. A player built not for dominance, but for war. Because while the big three chased immortality, Wawrinka was chasing moments. And when those moments came, he made the gods bleed. The first came under the Australian sun. Melbourne, 2014. Stan Wawrinka arrives as the 8th seed, just another name on the draw sheet. Expected to fall before the Giants. But something is different. He has spent the past year quietly transforming. Stronger legs, cleaner timing, and a relentless baseline game. Alongside a new voice in his box, Magnus Norman, the former Roland Garros finalist who teaches him one thing: stay calm when everything burns. Round after round, the change becomes impossible to ignore. But the real test waits in the quarterfinals. Novak Djokovic, 3-time defending champion in Melbourne. 14 straight wins over Wawrinka. Their last battle here, just a year ago, was a 5-set war, ending 12-10 in the 5th. Stan lost that night, and many believe it has broken him for good. So this time, nobody gives him a real chance. And once again, Djokovic starts sharp, locking in early and taking the first set 6-2. Business as usual in Melbourne. Then the match begins to tilt. Wawrinka raises his level. Deeper returns, heavier strikes, a backhand that starts cutting through the air like a blade. He takes the second set, then the third, turning the pressure back on the champion. Djokovic, as always, refuses to back down. He fights back in the fourth, finding his rhythm again and dragging the match into a 5th set that feels less like tennis and more like survival. At 8-7, after exactly 4 hours, Wawrinka earns a match point. Djokovic tries serve and volley and misses a clean shot. Wawrinka wins. After 15 tries, the wall finally cracks. The semifinal is no breeze either. Against Tomáš Berdych, Wawrinka fights for every inch. 3 tie-breaks, long rallies, pressure that never lets up. But when the moments come, he owns them. 4 sets later, it's 3-1 to Wawrinka. As he leaves the court, he doesn't celebrate much. He knows what's waiting next. The biggest step, one match away from eternity. And it's Rafael Nadal on the other side. Wawrinka never beat him. 12 matches, 12 defeats, not a single set to his name. But this time, from the very first ball, something feels electric. Stan attacks Rafa's serve like a man unleashed. Already in the 4th game, break points come up. He takes the first one right away. At 5-3, he's serving for the set, but Rafa fights back. He gets 3 break points. Could Wawrinka really lose his 27th set in a row? Nope, not this time. Stan saves every breakpoint and nails an ace to take the first set 6-3. That's the new mental strength right there. At the start of the second set, Wawrinka drops 3 ferocious winners and breaks Nadal to love. He keeps smashing the ball so hard and clean, totally overpowering Nadal, who, out of pure desperation, even tries a serve and volley at one point. Wawrinka seals the deal with another break before the set ends, taking it 6-2. But Rafa, clearly struggling with a back injury, isn't giving up. He's too much of a champ to go down just like that. He takes the third set and cuts the lead to 2-1. Still, Stan stays calm. He knows a hurt lion is the most dangerous. But nothing shakes his confidence anymore. He's done waiting for his moment. He's taking it. At 4-3 in the fourth set, a sharp forehand down the line gets him another break. And of course, finger to the temple, showing off that mental strength. In the end, how else do you finish a showdown like this but with a winner? His 33rd of the final. Match over. Stan Wawrinka, Grand Slam champion. Years of grinding, doubting, and falling short, all bursting open in the blink of an eye.
When I was a young kid, I never dreamed about winning Grand Slam because for me it was way too far. It was for some special player, not for me.
That night, he showed himself, and the whole world, that he's a truly special player. But that was just the beginning. Next stop, Paris, 2015. For Novak Djokovic, this is destiny. He's almost done it all. Roland Garros is the only missing piece. The trophy he's been chasing for years. He beats Rafael Nadal in the quarterfinals, a win that once felt impossible in Paris. So he's on fire right now. Everyone's expecting Novak to go all the way. But somewhere in the same draw, another story is quietly building. Ranked 8th and rocking those checkered shorts that will soon define his run, Stan Wawrinka keeps moving up without making noise. He's not in the headlines, but match by match, his timing sharpens and his confidence grows. In the quarterfinals, he faces Roger Federer. For years, Federer's been the Swiss headline and Wawrinka the footnote. Today, that changes. From the first rally, Stan controls the baseline. His backhand carves through the clay, flat and precise, leaving Federer helpless. Roger tries to mix things up. Slices, net rushes, angles, nothing works. Wawrinka wins 6-4, 6-3, 7-6. Stan walks off knowing one thing: he's no longer just the other Swiss. In the semis, he takes on Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, the home favorite. The French haven't had a Roland Garros champion since way back in 1983, when Yannick Noah won the title. The hopes are huge, all riding on Tsonga. But Stan is just too strong right now. He defeats him 3-1. For the Roland Garros glory, Djokovic stands in his way. World number 1, chasing the title that's always slipped away from him. He's on a 28-match win streak and steps into the match as a huge favorite. So it's no surprise that Novak starts aggressive, moving Stan side to side, making him run for every corner. The first set goes to Novak, 6-4. He roars toward his box. The plan is working. But then, the Swiss volcano begins to rumble. Wawrinka steps closer to the baseline. His backhand sounds different, heavier, sharper, clean off the strings. But Djokovic is still hanging tough in the set. It's 5-4 for Wawrinka. No breaks yet. Novak starts the next game strong, up 30-love. Then Stan flips the switch. He racks up 4 points in a row, breaks Novak's serve, and takes the second set 6-4. From there, the energy shifts. The crowd finds their favorite. Wawrinka starts to dictate, hammering every return deeper and forcing Djokovic back. At 3-2 in the third, Stan plays his best game on Novak's serve so far. He's dominating the court. Forehand winner. Backhand winner. Then another forehand winner. And to top it off, a loud celebration. By the end of the set, Wawrinka holds his serve tight and takes it 6-3. But Djokovic isn't giving up. Right at the start of the fourth set, he breaks Stan's serve. He's up 3-0, And it looks like we're headed for a deciding fifth set. Still, Stan soon gets his chance to break back. After a 30-shot rally, he tightens his fist while Novak looks desperate, staring toward his box. Novak gets 4 more breakpoints before the match ends, but Wawrinka just plays his best when it counts the most. And then, to finish it off, another beautiful one-handed backhand winner. The racket flies through the air. Grand Slam number 2 claimed. How impressive Stan was in the final? He hit 26 more winners than Djokovic. Wawrinka was also the only guy to beat Djokovic in Grand Slams that year. By 2016, it's been 2 years since Stan Wawrinka first broke through in Melbourne. When he arrives in New York, one thing is clear. His form might not be perfect, but his belief is stronger than ever. The US Open is pure chaos. The sticky, hot air, endless nights, and the noise that never stops. Nothing comes easy for Stan this summer. He's basically surviving matches, one battle at a time. In the third round, he even saves a match point against Dan Evans and fights through 5 sets to move on. Round after round, he finds just enough to stay alive. On his way to the final, he takes down Juan Martín del Potro and Kei Nishikori, rediscovering the same raw, explosive power we've seen in his prime at the majors. And once again, there's Novak Djokovic in the final, still haunted by that loss to Wawrinka in Paris. In the first set, we see 7 breakpoints on both sides, but it all comes down to a tiebreak. And we know Novak owns those. 7-1, totally routine. But like so many times before, Wawrinka grows stronger the longer it goes. At 5-4, he gets a set point. Novak sends a forehand long. Stan celebrates. He knows exactly what that means. It's 1 set apiece. Right away in the third set, Novak starts threatening again. But Wawrinka saves a breakpoint with a backhand winner down the line. The breakpoint drama continues, a total festival of them. But unlike Novak, Stan makes his chances count. At 6-5, he gets another set point and nails it. Then, with that now iconic gesture, he puts his finger to his temple, showing everyone he's the best when it matters most. In the fourth set, Stan breaks immediately, then backs it up the next game with 2 aces and a clean winner. From that point on, there's no doubt who's in control. Wawrinka, now a 3-time Grand Slam champion. He walks to the net slowly, on the edge of tears. It's not joy, it's relief, the kind that hits when there's nothing left to give. Under the lights of Arthur Ashe, Stan Wawrinka stands among the giants. And for one lasting moment, the man from the shadows stands alone at the very top. After New York, the climb began to hurt. The knees that had carried him through battles started to give way. Surgery followed surgery. Comebacks turned into recoveries. Recoveries into pauses. The crowd's roar faded, and for a while, he slipped out of the rankings. But his name never left the conversation. The power, the fight, the moments everyone still talks about. 4 Grand Slam finals, 3 titles, each win against a world number 1. In the sport's most unforgiving age, he showed greatness could come in flashes. Sudden, unforgettable, undeniable. Federer called him the strongest hitter in the game. Djokovic said, Stan plays best in the big matches. Even Nadal admitted, it's very tough to stop him when he's in the zone. The man they called Stanimal never built an empire like them. He built moments, and in those moments, he was untouchable.